over time is this domain control mentality. That this is my space, I don't want anybody to have access to what I'm doing, or one government organization not releasing information or data to others, thereby denying us this need for data harmonization, whereby you have a platform whereby any data you need about any citizen, you can easily go there and check it. There was a move as far back as 2003 to have a virtual harmonized database, where if you are in customs, you have your data there. If you are in immigration, if you are in road safety, if you are in VIO, you have your data there. But it didn't work just because of the problem I just mentioned. But the good is that government now has now set up a national data harmonization committee. And you have all the major data controllers in government there. And the whole aim is to have a singular point of data access. And the foundation has been laid already with what NIMS is doing. For instance, since 2007, when they were established up until about 2-3 years ago, they were able to create a database of less than 40 million Nigerians. But within 2 years, when they were moved to the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, they are doing about 95 million now, which is almost 50% of what we have. We are saying we have a population of about 210 million people, and now you'll be able to do 96. So it's like you have edging towards about 50%. I'm sure by the time NIN is fully implemented, where all Nigerians now have their identity to solve all these problems. And the good news again is that an average Nigerian who is of a transactional age, that is, you can transact or like do one thing or the other online. Now you have an identity. For instance, you can't write work without your name, you can't write job without your name, you can't go to university without your name, you can't do driver letter without your name, you can't do national passport without your name. All these things will speak to the issue of data harmonization. That when you have name, that is your number. All these multiple layers of asking for your data or submitting your data will be a thing of the past. The only thing they need is your name. When you have your name, it is assumed that you already have other data which you have given out, your date of birth, your address, your telephone number, all these things which are already covered in your name. So we are moving towards that gradually, but I can't give a categorical statement on the specific date, year or time. Exactly. But we are making progress. And the good thing is that we have a Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy that is actually driving Nigeria towards complete digitalization. The level of digitalization in the ministry, department, and agencies now is far higher than what it was before. And that speaks even to our contribution to GDP and taking Nigeria out of recession twice now. So to a large extent, a lot of work is going on in different areas to address the issue of harmonization of data of Nigerians, and we'll get there. It's a gradual process, it's a gradual journey, but we'll get there. It's either you do it personally or as a data controller or a data processor. A data controller is whoever, maybe an organization that determines the way and manner the data subjects with them is used. A data processor is one who processes data on behalf of the data controller. The data controller determines what data processor will be doing with the data they are collecting. And in Nigeria, again, some data processors are data controllers. They collect the data by themselves and use it for the purpose for which they are collecting such data. Now, what do they need to do? They need to put in place a lot of measures. On the part of data subject, you need to be very careful of the way and manner in which you share your data. If anybody asks for your data, why do you need my data? Because you have the right to know. You should be informed, because you have some rights under the law in Nigeria. Right to be informed, that is for them to tell you why they need your data and for what purpose. Right of rectification. If there's any mistake, you want to make amendment, you want to. Right of erasure. Okay, I don't want my data to be with you anymore. Remove my data completely from your right to reject your data being processed. So I don't want my data to be processed or profiling or doing electronic profiling or process of my data. All these are some of the rights data subject to. And your consent is really key. Before your data is used for any purpose, the data controller must seek for your consent. Okay, we are collecting your data, I want to use it for so and so. These are some of the measures that, the right that you have under the law. So you don't share your data anyhow. You are mindful. For instance, there are a lot of people, even are drinking joints, they can give their daughter their ATM card. Go and collect money from me. My pain is, you don't know it's sitting beside you. You don't know who you are talking, give out your information. They can steal that information and use it against you. Now coming to the data controller or data processor, they need to put in place technical measures. That is, what kind of software are they even deploying? What type of database do they have? What type of security measures do they have they added to their database to ensure that nobody can just make any incursion to their database and tap people's data and misuse it. And they also need to put in place organizational measures. Like what kind of data privacy do they have? Data privacy will speak about the organization. We are A and B, C, D organization. We offer this and that services. We collect your data to be able to provide these services to you. And we process the data in this manner. We store the data in this manner. We have put in place measures to ensure the security of your data. And we share the data with a third party who can use it for e-visa. These are things that they should declare to you as data subjects. So you know why they're collecting, what they're using for, how they're collecting, what they're processing for. These are things that they need to pay because they owe you as a data subject that duty of care to ensure that your data is safe and secure with them. If that is not done, it's a breach. It's a major problem for them, and they can be fined, they can be taken to court and stuff like that. So it's a two-way thing. Data subjects should know how to keep their data. You don't just, for instance, click, go through a website, you've seen their privacy policy, you don't even bother to read, you click. And that is what most people do. Even educated people. Because they need that service, they say, oh, this, okay, click, yes. Not reading the content of the data privacy policy. Although some of them can be unnecessarily lengthy, and that's why we keep telling them, make it clear and concise, so that anybody that can read and understand. So this is why we are collecting data for. So on the data side, they need to ensure that they do that. The data controllers, all the nations, organizational measures, technical measures, then the caliber of staff handling this data. What knowledge of data protection do they have? And that is why it's really important for them to have their privacy policy, have their DPOs, data protection officers, who advise them on what to do when it comes to collection, processing, storage, sharing of data, so that they will have put in place all these measures to safeguard such data with them. So these are things that they need to do: data processing, data control, then data subject. Then consequences. It's huge. What the law says is that if there's any data breach, the organization, the data processor, data controller, should pay 2% of their gross annual income for the previous year. If there's a data breach now, if your gross earning for last year was 100 billion, for instance, you pay 2 billion to government. And that is why a lot of companies are trying to take precautions now, because they know the cost is huge. Apart from the cost itself, now taking them through remediation, it's huge. Then the reputation of the company too. If you hear that there are data breaches in a bank, you don't want to bank with that bank again. You want to withdraw your money. If it's with the telco, you can say, okay, you want to port. It's what your right too. It's part of the right that you have, the right of portability. You want to move your data from one data controller to the other. It's part of your right. Because, okay, you know there was a time in Nigeria that porting was a common thing. Oh, I don't port, or I don't move my number from. So which is common, it's a right too for data subject. So these are the things that are there for data control to put in place. And as I said, the reputation of that organization is really important. That a lot of them, they want to guide it jealously, that they don't want anybody to know that there's any data breach or whatever. So all these measures they need to put in place. And usually what we do here, when any data breach is reported, we write to the organization to find out, we receive the report that these and these happened in your organization to these data subjects. But please, let us know what happened. They will respond, we'll go through the response. We'll now invite them for PAC, pre-action conference. That is, we have written to you, you responded, and we want to go through what you have told us, we want to review together before we take our action. And don't give us the power to take the action of fine. But as a government institution and a government that is trying to promote ease of doing business in Nigeria, foreign direct investment, create jobs, create wealth and stuff like that, that if you start issuing fines the way it is stated in the law, there may be some problems. In fact, some of the cases that we investigated, so their top officials actually confessed that if they had to pay this fine, all the top management will go. And you know what that means? They multiply effect to their family and even society as a whole. So what we've been trying to do, because we have an implementation framework of the law, we have opportunity to say, okay, let's take you through remediation. More importantly, if you are willing to cooperate. But we are top of just lambing with the fine that you have to pay. But if you are willing to cooperate, we take you to the remediation, identify the cause of the breach, and we weigh the impact on data subject too. Then we will have to pay an administrative fee. Then we take you, monitor you for some months. If you're okay, we leave it. But our intention is not about fine. It's not about penalties. It's about an average data controller, an average data processor seeing compliance as a culture. That's why we have data protection by design, data protection by default. That is the stage that we are. Yes, in the law that we're using now, which is the regulation, that is NDPR, Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, issued in 2019 under NIDA. There was no provision for compensation to data subjects there. But it's part of what we are trying to pursue in the principal law, which we are working on. But one good thing is the fact that even data controllers, if there are issues like that, they are willing to compensate data subjects. But there are some provisions in our law, generally, that have given the right to data subjects to seek redress in the court of law. To say, okay, they've misused my data, I want this amount, or I want this compensation. And the law can, if they prove their case, the law can award anything as cost to them because it has led to some damages, maybe to their reputation. They have lost some money, they have lost some things or so like that. Now it has actually happened in some of the cases that we've handled. We had a case where the data subject, when they gave his information to NIMSI for the process of his name, by the time the card came out, they classified him as a female and a male. And when he's not Bobrisky, it's difficult to now get driver license, to get international passports, to have access even to some facilities. So by the time we started investigating the case, even the data controller offered to compensate the data subject. And part of the condition is to ensure that the identity, the gender with NIMSI is changed in the database. And they will now use to change some of the things that they have in where the data subject has the data controller. So it's happening, and there are some other causes that the law courts, some courts have awarded damages and they pay compensation to the data subjects. So it's a two-way thing. That we encourage them to pay or they go to court.